अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Okay, any questions, clarification on what we did last time? Last time what we saw was a simple Ananda Mimamsa. Okay. And if you notice, he said, all the Ananda that you experience anywhere, any experience of Ananda, belongs to this person who has got nothing. Because he is Shotriya and Akamahataha. The idea is not that he is going to literally experience all that Ananda. But the idea is that all Ananda anywhere that is experienced is nothing but a manifestation of the Ananda that I am. Therefore, any experiential Ananda is less than what I have. Therefore, any Ananda experienced anywhere is actually me alone. That is the whole idea there, okay? Yeah. Not that literally you are going to get the experiential Ananda of Indra and heaven, etc., etc. Okay? Yeah. Because what he is making here is, there is an experiential Ananda that is experienced by everyone. Let us say it is cold in Delhi or Rishikesh. Okay? And you have to make do with some jackets and this and that. It's cold. Supposing you are staying in a place where there is heating and everything. Naturally, that experiential joy is more, no? Comfort and joy is more. Because of the experiential comfort, you have an experiential Ananda. Okay? That will vary from people to people. But all Ananda, and the other thing is Swarupa Ananda. Every Ananda manifest anywhere is a manifestation of the Ananda that you are. The limitlessness that is Atma, I, when it is manifest in the mind due to any reason, is called Atma, joy, fulfillment, happiness. So when you discover your Ananda, you are all joy. Even though your existence may be very uncomfortable. Are you understanding the difference between the two? Yeah. It is to find joy in spite of miserable experiences. And this is not a new experience for us. There are times when our experiences are not very pleasant, but we find ourselves being joyful. Like when you go on a trek to the Himalayas, experience is problematic. Yeah. Especially if you are going on wilderness treks, where you are carrying your own load, 10-12 kilos on your back, and walking 15 kilometers a day. You don't walk 5 kilometers in the city, and there you are walking 15 kilometers with 10 kilos on your back. ये क्या बात है? But मजा आया. Yeah, those are all experiential. Okay, even though you are uncomfortable, you are happy. Yeah, and you can be uncomfortable and happy also. Yeah. Like on one of our trips to the Himalayas, I had a lady with me. She would crib about everything. I am not joking. So after some time I said, it's time for me to confront her. In Gauri Kund, she is sitting in her room. Gauri Kund is not very high, 6,000 feet above sea level, no big deal. That is not a big problem in terms of cold in summer. It's cold, okay, but not okay. She is sitting on her bed with her half the body covered under the rajai. She is sitting up, the rajai is on her feet, having a cup of tea and cribbing about You know, the sheets, they're all stained sheets. So I said, you know why? Because people like you drink tea in bed and spill the tea, and they discover that only the next day when they change the sheets, and they have to wash it in the cold Ganga. How do you expect the stains to go? So then she tells me, Swamiji, you know me now, I'm just cribbing. Okay, from now on I won't take your cribbing seriously. I'll call you Happy Cribber. So you can be cribbing about things, you can be, that's okay. Or you can be happy in the circumstances. Yeah. You can feel blessed. Arey, Shankara walked all this way to go to Kedarnath. I'm walking on the same trail. Wow. Okay. I'm literally following his footsteps. You can feel blessed. You can feel joyful. Oh, what a beauty. The mountain peaks covered with snow, but it is green all around below. Yeah, so beautiful. And the Ganga flowing, Mandakini flowing below. Beautiful. I mean, Alakananda actually. I mean, you can feel great about it, you can crib about it. That's attitudinal. Here we are talking about is Swarupananda, the Ananda of your true nature, the limitlessness that you are. So, any questions, clarifications up to now, or shall we go ahead?
Maharaj, can you expand on the word akamahatasya?
Huh? Can you expand?
On the word akamahatasya.
Akamahataha. It's a nice expression. Yes. Kamena na hataha akamahataha. Okay. Kamena hataha, meaning killed literally or troubled by kama. Okay. That the kama, the desire that you have is troubling you. That is a normal state of affairs. No? If you have a strong desire, not a fancy, I am talking about kama, desire. Have a desire strong. Then it troubles you until you fulfill it. It disturbs you. It becomes a longing. It becomes something that you have to work upon, and you have to plot and plan and things like all that to get it. This is called kamahataha. And like this, we'll have at least at any given time half a dozen kamaha. At least half a dozen kama will be there in every time. Can't avoid it. Half a dozen kamas will be there. The one who doesn't have that, who is not troubled by kama, is called akamahataha. Now, how can you not be troubled by kama? Huh? Only if you have discovered that you are ananda. That means Kshotriya, their word remained the same. One who has listened to the Shastra, who is part of a parampara. Akamahataha stands for Brahmanishtaha. One has got Nishtha in Brahman, in this knowledge. Therefore, Akamahataha means literally one who is rooted in Brahman. Brahmanishtaha akama equals Akamahataha. Okay. So, Brahmanishta Shotriyasya. Such a person, is Ananda with nothing. You can be Ananda with everything also. You can be Ananda with nothing also. That is important to see the both. If you take someone on like say Janaka. Janaka was supposed to be a wise person. Sita's father. Okay. He was supposed to be a wise person. So he was living a kingly life. But he was also Kshotriya Akamahatasya. Okay. Yeah. So experiences, a few things were there. But at the same time, Akamahataha. He had lots of stuff and not troubled by desire. In fact, if you really want to enjoy something, you should not be troubled by desire. If you are troubled by desire, you can't really enjoy a thing. Let us say you are ravenously hungry. Ravenously hungry. Whole day you have not eaten anything, and by the evening you are ready to eat a whole horse. Okay. and they give you some fine dine, what, pasta, very finely spiced and herbs and the very Michelin star pasta. You can really enjoy it, or you're just going to gobble it up. I'm too hungry यार. वो fine taste छोड़ो, मेरे को पहला भूख लग रहा है. But you're okay, you're fine. 6 hours after your last meal. You're hungry, but okay. Now you can enjoy all the fine tastes. Yeah, otherwise you're just going to gobble it up. So similarly, little bit, that stepping back is necessary even to enjoy something. Otherwise you're just going to gobble up things. Yeah. And this is true for anything, any object of desire. Yeah. Because to enjoy the fine aspects of that object or that thing or that experience, you need to have a little bit inner relaxation. Yeah. And experiential ananda doesn't call for much. Very pleasant weather, cold. Okay. You're walking on the road with a friend and you're cutting chai on the road. Maja aaya. It's a roadside tea costing $8. $8? मेरे को मजा आया. Are you getting the idea? It doesn't call for much to enjoy. I think Mangala or Punjabi Keshan wants to ask something.
Yes, Swamiji.
Yeah.
Yeah, Swamiji, in the beginning of the second chapter.
Second chapter of?
This Taittiriiya upanishad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says, Yo Veda Nidam Guhayam Parame Vyoman.
Yeah.
Saha Ashtute Sarvan Kaman Saha.
Yeah.
How do I connect this with this?
The same thing. Because there he is saying, he has so ashnute sarvan kaman saha. Meaning, not that every desire is going to be fulfilled of his. It doesn't matter to him because you are Ananda. So this section in a way is throwing more light on that. More light on that. Any experiential Ananda anywhere is nothing but the Ananda of myself. I am that Ananda. Okay. So it doesn't matter whether a desire is fulfilled or not. I am Ananda. Fulfilled, the Ananda is not going to be more. Not fulfilled, the Ananda is not going to be less. Connect up with the Gita, second chapter. Apurya manam achala pratishtam samudra mapah pravishanti yadva. Like the ocean remains always full, whether rivers enter it or don't enter it. Similarly, the heart of a wise person, full, complete, whether objects of desire are there or not there. So, then the question will be, does a wise person have a desire?
Yes.
It is called badita kama. They are actually negated, but they remain as preferences. Always give the example, no? Ask a South Indian Mahatma in the morning, wise person. महाराज जी क्या पिएगे? चाय पिएगा, दूध पिएगा, कॉफ़ी पिएगा? इस टिपिकल टैम्ब्रम. अरे सुबह सुबह कॉफ़ी. नाइस. आज द सेम टू ए पंजाबी महात्मा. अरे जब दूध पी सकता है तो कॉफ़ी क्यों पीनेंगे? It's just preferences. Why? Yeah, that's your background. You're brought up like that. Yeah. You're brought up like that. That's your background. Yeah. So like that doesn't matter. Yeah. What will you have for nashta? Breakfast, what will you have? Idlis? Yeah, nice parantha. Again, depends where you come from, what is your background. I've seen a lot of South Indians in Bombay, they have adopted a North Indian, this thing very well. They'll take puri bhaji. For breakfast, puri bhaji, I find it too heavy. But, yeah. So, these type of desires will be there in a wise person also. Baditam. There, theek hai, nahi hai, theek hai. The whole world has been reduced to only preferences, not desires. Just preferences. What do you prefer? Yeah. What do you prefer? So when the South Indian, my batchmates, Guru Bhais, typical Tambram, I have a few people like that, working in interior Tamil Nadu, Like there is this guy. He has renovated 300 temples on his own. Small village temples, but he has found local population, that who's 300 temples. He is the part of the 90s batch. So in the last 30 years, 300 temples. That's huge, huge amount of work. So he came to Rishikesh last time he was there for Swamiji's Aradhana. So he's asking, he says, Swamiji, you don't get good coffee here, no? I said, no, this is North India. You will not get filter coffee here. Our ashram comes close, but they have to make it in such huge bulk. Difficult. Yeah. Because for Swamiji's Aradhana, 150 people are there. So, how much coffee are you going to make? No, it comes close. ठीक है, चाय पी लेगा. Now, Rohit has asked a question. Rohit, you are not getting the point. The point I am saying is, for a wise person, every desire is reduced to a preference. Okay? So, don't look at it as a sign of progress that if I reduce my desires to preferences, I am a wise person. Ulta hai. If you know the truth, you discover your Ananda, automatically this will happen. By an act of will, you can make it, na? Act of will, you can make anything. You say, no, I won't fulfill that desire. I'll make it into a preference. That's an act of will. Don't convert everything I am talking here into should and shouldn't. In fact, nothing should be should and shouldn't. No? Nothing should be looked upon as should and should not. I am talking about a state of affairs of the wise person, which is natural. Or by sheer habit, it can become a preference. You are someone who travels all over the world. So you may have forgotten what a typical meal is. Why? Every day you are eating something different than some the same. One day you are in Bombay, next day you are in Delhi, third day you are in UK, London, fourth day you are in Mexico, fifth day you are... So you don't know whether you are coming or going. So what is typical? I have forgotten what is typical. Whatever locally available, I eat. That's a different thing. That's by sheer necessity of work it has happened like that. So don't look upon these as signs of progress. Yeah. What I am saying is, for a wise person, every desire is nothing but a preference, including Vedanta. Okay. Yeah. So, उल्टा मत करो उसको. Yeah. Okay, so that much for that. Any other questions?
Swamiji,
Yeah.
you had in the last class you had touched elaborately on abhayam.
Huh.
In the since it's such an important, it's so important for somebody to have abhayam at a relative level. Which of the sadhana chatushtaya qualifications would come closest to abhayam?
Not any one.
Okay.
Vairagya definitely is involved because sense of loss I am willing to accept, so I am objective towards it. Samadama is involved.
Okay.
And to an extent titiksha is also involved.
Okay.
Sahanam sarva dukkhana. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So sadhana chatushtaya is a way of presenting. Okay. But I would put it like this. Whatever you want to know in absolute measure, you must have in a relative measure. Yeah. Because why abhayam is not mentioned as part of the sadhana chatushtaya? I don't think it is mentioned in the Gita also. 20 values, is it mentioned? Not mentioned.
It starts with abhayam sattva samshuddhihi.
That much is there, yes. In the 20 values it is mentioned because Krishna is elaborating it. Yeah. So there it is mentioned. Because is there any other way to live except courageously?
Swamiji, 16th chapter also begins with abhayam sarvas.
No, that is different. Abhayam sarva bhutanam. He gives abhayam to all beings. Yeah. That is a different thing. Yeah. So, is there any other way to live but in courage? Because sense of loss is always there. No? That you can lose something is always a fact of life. When it is not a fact of life. Many a slip between the cup and the lip. So, you can always lose something. So, are you going to live in fear or are you going to live in courage? It's a natural way of living. Now the question is to what extent it can go. Yeah. That will depend on what you have inside and what you have here in your heart. Yeah. That's what it is. How much courage you have. Yeah. Because even to live an ordinary life, you need some amount of courage. Yeah. Your neighbor turns out to be a bully. You have to be able to confront him, no? Or are you going to say, no, don't get into a fight, this, that, etc. Be quiet, live quietly. Let him be what he is. You should not sink yourself to his level. All the nonsense that we hear, middle class morality. Yeah. You can confront him nicely. Yeah. That requires some courage, no? So, is there any other way of living? So, in many ways, it's taken as a granted thing, Yeah. But a few hundred years of foreign rule has made us deny realities, take a non-confrontational approach, which is fine if you are enslaved by the Mughals and later on by the British and etc. Yeah? Because you have to survive, lie low to survive. But that habit is continuing. That habit is continuing. Yeah. I made a simple appeal. It's there on YouTube. to Bangladesh to protect the rights of the Hindu monks there and the Hindu citizens there. Simple, just a request. So many people came and said, Swamiji, you have to be careful making such videos. What if the Islamists target me? Let them target. Yeah. Come on, you are making a simple video and putting it up, an appeal. You are scared. Yeah. How do you live like that? I can't live like that. Yeah. Or the Shankaracharya of Kanchi was arrested and put in the jail. I requested his Taittiriiya Sabha. Taittiriiya Sabha is Kinkaraha. Kinkara is supposed to be like, you are Dasaha. You consider him Lord and Master, you are Dasaha. You will do anything for him. So I didn't say, let us have a protest meeting in Bombay. I said, let's have a prayer meeting for him. Because I knew these characters are such cowards, they will not be able to have a protest meeting. So I wanted to sort of help build them up a bit, use this as a learning opportunity to build up. Let's have a prayer meeting. No, what if you are targeted? I said, you are Kinkara Sabha, you consider him God, you are willing to do anything for him. You can't even have a prayer meeting in Bombay. Jayalalitha is sitting in Chennai, what power does she have in Bombay? Nothing. Why are you so scared? No. Idiots, cowards. All the ritualism, all the pujas and the part and the studies help them nothing. Yeah. Nothing it isn't. You think all that is going to make any difference? Faith, trust in Ishvara should make you courageous. Yeah. God is with me, what am I going to be afraid of? Your guru, whom you consider next to God, is in jail, and what are you doing? Not even a prayer meeting? Honestly, one of the few times I get disgusted with people is here. Yeah. Really? How do you live like that? I am not saying everyone should become an activist. That's not what I am saying. Yeah. If my guru was arrested like that, I would raise the masses in such an extent, they'll be forced to release him overnight. Forget it. Reva de. That's why all that ritualism, that is not helping them in getting courage. Vedanta बहुत दूर हम 2-3 lifetime बाकी है अभी to come to Vedanta. So, to live a life, you need courage. Otherwise, avoidance will be your first response to a problem. And that's not healthy for growth. You'll avoid a problem rather than using it to grow. Denial, avoidance and all will be your first response. Very, very unhealthy. That's not how to live. But you may get into trouble. Of course you'll get into trouble. What trouble? What happened to all your Ishwararpana buddhi, prasada buddhi and all? वो सब बात करने के लिए है. Not to bring it into your life. I mean, I can understand if you're an old person, 80-year-old, you don't get in one. That I can understand. Yeah, but you're talking about youngsters. Youngsters meaning middle age, 45, 50-year-olds. Come on. That's why I give examples of people like Major General Suri, Commodore, etc. That you can see, hey, they're all people living among us. They are not wise people, but say, look at how they lived in courage. Let it be an inspiration. At least I hope the students who attend the Vedanta class will be better, not like them. Okay. Shautriyasya akamahatasya. Did we finish the Ashtamanuvaka last time? No, no? We finished that, okay.
Last time I guess we didn't do.
Yeah, we have to do that yato vacho nivartante, correct? That's what we have to do.
We have to do sayascha yam purushe yascha savadite. That you have to do. You will finish at the Shotriyasya Jaka Mahatasya in that.
Okay, then chant that and the next one also.
Sayascha yam purushe yascha savadite sayekah sayevam vidloka sayevam vid asman lokat vidya एतमन्नमयमात्मान उपसंक्रामति एतं प्राणमयमात्मान उपसंक्रामति एतं मनोमयमात्मान उपसंक्रामति एतं विज्ञानमयमात्मान उपसंक्रामति एतमानन्दमयमात्मान उपसंक्रामति तदप्येष श्लोको भवति.
Okay, this we have to see. Okay. This yaschayam purushe, with respect to this person. Who person? Shokasya ja akamahatasya. Shotriyasya cha akamahat. That person. Yaschayam purushe. Yaschavasav aditye. Meaning the purusha that is there in the human being and the purusha that is there in Aditya. Why Aditya? Aditya was the symbol for Ishvara. Those days they didn't use murtis. Vedic time there were no murti puja. Okay? Natural symbols were used, like Aditya, etc. Therefore, the Purusha that is there, that is Ishvara, and the Purusha that is here in me. Say Ekaha, both of them are one and the same. Both of them are one and the same. In other words, Tattvamasi iti. These are all Mahavakyas, okay? Various type of Mahavakyas. So the one in the Aditya, one means one and the same. In other words, Ishvara and me are one and the same. That means what? All that is there is only one consciousness. So, ya evam with, who understands this? Asman lokan pretya. This can be taken literally or figuratively. Dying to this world, he says. Okay. Okay. Or withdrawing from the world. Etam annamayam atmanam upasankramati. Annamayam atmanam. What he had before taken as I, this body, upasankramati, he goes beyond that in his understanding. Pranamayam atmanam ukasampranati. He goes beyond the I am prana. No, that is also dropped. Okay. Etam manomayam atmanam upasankramati. That mind is me. Mind is me, meaning my inner reality, my emotions, etc. is me. Upasankramati. Vijnanamayam atmanam upasankramati. All knowledge, your self-judgment based on knowledge. Upasankramati. Etam anandamayam atmanam upasankramati. Even anandamayam. Why? Anandamayam is experiential ananda. Whenever you get an experience of ananda, whether it is because of bhoga or yoga. Bhoga is the experience of the outer world. Yoga is what? I am meditating. It is such a blissful experience. I have some yoga teachers in Chambur who come and tell me that also. They want to get validation from me, So they'll come and tell me, Swamiji, in meditation last week, it was so blissful. And I'm thinking, you're so blissfully ignorant. I said, then that Ananda you're experiencing there, that is yourself. You have to understand that. I am experiencing it. Why? Samsari ityartah. Anandamayam atmanam upasankramati. Why? Brahmapucham pratishtam. Remember previously it said in the Panchakosha Viveka, Anyantaratma, Anyantaratma, Anyantaratma. To Brahmapucham pratishta. The Brahman is yourself, Ananda is yourself. You can't reduce it to an experience. Experience happens in the samsaric world. In the world, experience will happen. That's part of world. Not you. You are Ananda. That discovery is important. Not an experience of Ananda. You are Ananda. We are not trying to experience Ananda. We are trying to understand I am Ananda, the source of any joy in the world anywhere. Therefore, upasamkramati. Alright. Then, tadapyesha sloko bhavati. There is a sloka with respect to this. Punjabi, can you read the next one also?
Yes, Swami. Yatho vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha anandam brahmano vidvar tabivedi kudhaschaleti edagum khavanamatapadhi kimahagum sadhuna karavam kimaham papamakaramam iti devam vidvarete atmanak spridute ube eveshete atmanak spridute evam veda ityupanishade sahana vavatu sahana punattu sahavi angaravavai tejasvinavadi tamastuma vitvishavai om shanti shanti shanti.
Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. From where the words come back, along with the mind, unable to objectify it. That is you. If you take it literally, you will say, what? Why are you teaching? Teaching and all is only a pointer. Teaching is only a pointer. You have to go beyond the mind and understand that, transcend the mind and experience your Atma. Nonsense. Total, utter nonsense. Okay? Yeah. All words describe something. Jati, guna, kriya, sambandha. These are what words do. Okay? Nama, rupa, jati, guna, kriya, sambandha. Isn't this what words do? Gunas, kriyas, a collective pronoun, a collective nouns, jati, human beings, jati, men, one jati. Jati is not caste, it's a group, okay? Yeah. So all this words will do. Gunas, qualities. Kriya, action. Sambandha, relationship. Verbs, kriyas are verbs, isn't it? Relationship, sambandha, father, mother, etc., indicating of relationships. Yeah. There is no entity called father. There is a relationship with a particular person of father and son. Guru. Guru is a relationship word. Someone comes and asks me in the train, are you a guru? What do I say? No. I am Guru to those people who want to learn from me, isn't I? There is no entity called Guru. Yeah. There can be a class of people called Guru. There can be a jati of Gurus.
Mangalai says, unless your name is Guru.
Unless your name is Guru. Yeah, like Guru Murti shortened to Guru. Now there can be a class of people called Gurus because they are teachers by function. Yeah. How do you apply it with the Atma? Atma is not an entity. It's not a guna. It is not a jati. There is only one of its kind. There is no guna, kriya, sambandha. Nothing is possible. No description is possible. Therefore, yato vacho nivartante. Along with the mind, can your mind objectify it? Mind cannot objectify it. It is I. No, look at it. If there was really something from where yato vacho nivartante, manasa saha, then you will never be able to know it. The only way the teaching works is because you happen to be that. I am is self-evident, but mistaken as samsari. Therefore, that mistake can be negated and what you are can be revealed. Because it happens to be yourself. So, we don't have to establish a connection between you and the Atma. If Atma was beyond everything in Timbuktu, no amount of teaching will work. No amount of experience also will work. Now, Swamiji, what happens if I transcend the mind? Who is transcending? Swamiji is like, the pole vaulter. So, who is the guy going beyond? Who is that entity? He can't be the Atma because Atma is already beyond. He can't be the Ahankara because Ahankara is the pole that is left behind. Then who is that guy? This is called giving an example and trying to draw logic from it. Ulta hai. You are supposed to give the logic and illustrate with an example. And if you have to transcend, that means Atma is not there here. Atma is in Timbuktu. That means Atma becomes a finite entity. Because they are not here, na?
Transcend Atma, then you have no connection with Atma.
Exactly. Then how will you ever know it? How will you ever experience it? How will you ever transcend Anatma to get into the Atma? Atma happens to be you. Translation of Atma is I. Now, either other gadbad aata hai. Big I and small I. Oh, Narayana. Big guy standing for Atma, small I for. So, what do? Straighten the small I and elongate it to make the big I. I have seen study groups, sevaks, talking such idiotic nonsense. That's why I am negating it here. If you have such ideas in your mind, throw it away. Words cannot describe it, words cannot reveal it, but it does only because it happens to be you. And you know I am. So I only have to tell you what you are. There is a particular methodology for it. Therefore, who knows the methodology of teaching, it works. If your mind is not filled with all the nonsense which I am negating now, okay, then it will work. That's why you have to be careful whom you learn from. Like this guy comes to me. He learned from half a dozen characters, from all different sampradayas. मन में इतना भूसा भरा है ना, to learn is difficult. That's why the famous Zen statement, empty yourself and I will fill thee. Oh, what a nice statement. But then when the teacher negates, you get upset. Because that's my pet belief. 20 years I sat down and meditated to transcend the mind. And the teacher is saying nothing is going to happen. Swami Chinmayanji said that to one of the senior study group sevaks. Nothing will happen. And he got upset instead of understanding. Because what do you expect to happen? Whatever has to happen is samsara, it has already happened. और क्या happening हो जाएगा? Now there is something to be known, something to be understood. So words will not describe it. Words cannot describe it. Any description will make it finite. Now look at how it is done. You are a finite entity. You are a conscious being, right? I am self-evident, conscious being. I know I am. But I have taken myself to the body, mind, this, that, etc. Now from this I am going to negate everything that is not you. Not the body, not the mind, not this, that. What is left behind? One who is aware of all this. This I is nothing but limitless consciousness. So I have to do some explanation how it is limitless. Time, unconditioned by time, space, etc. I have to show. Which I have been doing it all the time here. Then what? But did you objectify it? Did you have a subject-object relationship with the Atma? If you are saying yes, you have a long way to go.
You are straight away getting into Dvaitam then.
Yeah, exactly. You are getting into Dvaita, not into Advaita. So the whole idea of knowing yourself without a subject-object relationship. This is what is presented as akhanda akara vritti, etc. Now there also there is problems. Like in one study group I heard. Normally vrittis are finite with respect to a given object. Correct. That much is correct. You take that vritti and you stretch it in meditation until it becomes limitless. I actually heard this. My hands were itching, I am telling you. To wring their characters neck. To talk such nonsense. It was not my program. It was my program, I would have thrown him out of the stage. Don't talk nonsense like this here. Honestly, I am not joking. To recognize a thing, two operations are necessary. The mind has to take the form of the object. The object here is phone. Mind has to take the form of the object. This is called vritti vyapti. Second, I have to establish a relationship with this subject-object relationship, which will give me the knowledge that is called phala vyapti. So any given knowledge involves these two aspects. Vritti vyapti, mind taking the form of the object, and I objectifying that. Vritti vyapti, phala vyapti. Now, why is this necessary? Because the object is away from you either in terms of time space or in terms of ignorance. Therefore, I have to do this. Vritti vyapti removes the distance between me and the object in terms of time, space, ignorance. Phala vyapti establishes a relationship between me, the seer, and the object, the seen. So, because of the teaching, vritti vyapti takes in your mind. That consciousness, limitlessness is me. Vritti vyapti has to take place. Why? Because in the mind there is ignorance. If the vritti vyapti doesn't take place, ignorance will not go. The distance between you and the Atma which you feel will not disappear without vritti vyapti. Once vritti vyapti happens, can you have a subject-object relationship with it? Not possible nor necessary. Why? You already established I am. It's already self-evident. The relationship is already there. I am. Therefore, with respect to the second operation, phala vyapti, you will say, yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha, from where the words came back, along the mind, unable to objectify it, because there is no subject-object relationship. Once vritti vyapti happens, I am limitless consciousness. Bas, ho gaya kaam. With respect to the vritti vyapti, you will say, manasa eva anudrashtavyam, by the mind alone it has to be seen. Why? Because without vritti vyapti, there is no seeing. Because ignorance continues.
Swamiji, can we say with the vritti vyapti, you are negating the ignorance?
Yeah. Vritti vyapti negates ignorance. Yeah.
Swayam Jyoti, it shines.
Beg your pardon?
Atma being Swayam Jyoti.
Yeah. Because Swayam Jyoti or self-evident, you don't need the second operation. Nor is it possible. Therefore, the Akhandakara vritti is a resolving vritti. It's a vritti to negate ignorance. Kritva jnanam swayam nashyet. Atma bodha. Having given you the knowledge, it dies down. Why? It negated the ignorance. Where does it remain? One with consciousness. Can the vritti vyapti have a separate form? The form is one of consciousness. What is that? Resolving consciousness. But in the resolving process, you have negated the ignorance. Whereas a forced resolving, like in a meditative experience, ignorance continues. That's why the guy comes and says, after 20 years of meditation, nothing is happening. Actually, nothing will happen. Because he is expecting something to happen. He is postponing realization. And all the time Gurudev was saying, it is here and now, here and now, here and now. Yeah, it's here and now when I experience it. So, vritti vyapti necessary, phala vyapti not possible. Because not possible, you say yato vacho nivartante. Because vritti vyapti is necessary, you say manasa eva anudrashtavyam. You take any one statement alone, you will not get it. If you say manasa eva anudrashtavyam, you will make the study academic. If you take only yato vacho nivartante, you will be on an eternal trip all your life, trying to transcend the mind. I know people for 40, 50 years, they believed in this and they died with that belief. Next lifetime, dekha jayega. If they get a sampradaya with acharya, they will understand. Yeah. Okay. Therefore, yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. Anandam brahmano vidwan. Vidwan. Why is he a vidwan? He knows anandam brahmeti. Anandam brahma aham asmiti. Then what? Na bhiveti kutasyana. Nothing for him to be afraid of. This is absence of fear. This is not courage. This is more than courage. Courage is when there is fear. You are overcoming it with courage. This is what? Fearlessness. Abhayam pratishtam vindate iti. What is there to be afraid of? What loss? Hey, I am limitlessness. What loss can I have? What is away from me to lose? An arm or a limb or something like that? I am not the body anyway. Yeah. What about losing your life? I am the life. What about, how is it losing? I am the consciousness. I can't lose it. I can only drop the body. Into where will you drop the body? Into the existence it came from. Or kidhar? Into me only. Where else am I going to drop the body? But how you drop, body is dropped, no? Then you want to become old, or what? How old do you want to become? Yeah. Told you, no? One regret the Pandavas had. We become old and useless, yaar. Veeragati nahi mila. We didn't die on the battlefield as young men. We lived to become old. That's a regret, okay? Then abhiveti kutasyana. is the absence of fear. Okay. Okay. Oh, 8:10 almost. We will see the remaining and go into Bhriguvalli next time. Okay. Yeah. Om Tat Sat. Good place to stop.